The champagne glass shattered against marble, and that's when I knew someone was going to die tonight. When the screaming started. The pool. Always the damn pool. My legs moved before my brain caught up. Muscle memory from 2 years of lifeguard training overriding every rational thought. I hit the water in my uniform, designer heels and all, and grabbed the sinking man by his collar. He was heavy, dead weight in an expensive black suit, but I'd pulled bigger men from rougher waters. When we broke the surface, his face was blue. Not breathing. I dragged him onto the pool deck, ignored the crowd of wedding guests losing their minds, and started compressions. Out, abuo, otto, ano, counting in Igbo like my mother taught me, because some things you never forget, even when you're trying to. Breathe. Compress. Breathe. Compress. Come on, I whispered. Don't you dare die on me. His body jerked. Water exploded from his mouth. Those eyes, dark, intense, alive, locked onto mine. Angel, he choked out. Then she appeared. The bride. Designer dress, designer face, designer concern that didn't quite reach her eyes. She knelt beside him, and I caught something in her expression that made my skin crawl. Relief. No. Disappointment. David, she breathed, touching his face. Oh God, what happened? The paramedics arrived, took over, loaded him. That's what makes this complicated. Don't get attached. Too late, I thought. Too damn late. Training with David became the best part of my days, which should have been my first warning sign. He was good. Taekwondo and Hapkido, years of discipline evident in every movement. But when I showed him the Nigerian boxing my uncle taught me, something in him lit up. For an hour each morning, he wasn't the chaebol heir or the criminal prince. He was just David, learning to throw punches with a wrapped lead hand, laughing when I corrected his footwork. Your uncle must have been a good teacher, he said one morning, breathing hard after a sparring session. The best. He died 3 years ago. I didn't mention that Marcus's murder investigation probably gave him the heart attack. Some wounds were too fresh to share. I'm sorry. David's sympathy was genuine. Loss is its own language, isn't it? I think we both speak it fluently. Before I could respond, the dojo door opened. Sujin entered, perfect in a blue dress, playing the devoted fiancé flawlessly. She smiled at David with what looked like real affection. I heard we have a new family member. I wanted to properly introduce myself. She extended her hand to me. Sujin Park. Thank you for saving his life. Her grip was just slightly too tight. A reminder. Just doing my job. Still, we're grateful. She moved to David's side, wiping sweat from his face with practiced intimacy. Come to dinner tonight, Yemi. I want to know the woman who'll be protecting my future husband. It wasn't a request. Dinner was a performance. David's father Richard at the head of the table, his uncle Thomas to the right. Thomas was younger, warmer, more dangerous because of it. He smiled like a shark. Miss Oladele, Thomas said in perfect English. Lagos, correct? Beautiful city. I had business there years ago. Thank you, sir. Please, call me Uncle Thomas. Everyone does. He raised his wine glass. To new family members. Everyone drank. I noticed Sujin's hand tighten on her glass, saw something pass between her and Thomas. A look. A warning. The conversation flowed around me, business talk dressed as family concern. Richard asked pointed questions about my background, my training, my family. I answered carefully, revealing enough to seem honest while keeping my deepest scars hidden. Your father was a doctor? Richard asked. Cardiovascular surgeon. He died during a medical mission. I was 19. Onto a stretcher. As they wheeled him away, the bride turned to me. Her lips moved. Silent words meant only for me. You shouldn't have done that. 3 days later, I was trying to forget the whole thing when my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Someone had filmed the rescue. Hashtag Niger lifeguard save Seoul was trending. My little sister Zainab called from Lagos, laughing so hard she could barely speak. Yemi, you're famous. Auntie Grace says you're bringing honor to the family. Uncle Tund wants to know if the rich man is single. Tell Uncle Tund to mind his business, I muttered, stirring my jollof rice with one hand while scrolling through comments with the other. Thousands of strangers praising me for doing my job. The knock on my door made me jump. Through the peephole, the bride from the wedding, immaculate in a white pantsuit, looking like she'd never been near a pool in her life. I opened the door slowly. "Can I help you?" Yemi Oladele. Not a question. Her smile was surgical. "I'm Sujin Park. We need to talk." Every instinct screamed don't let her in, but I did anyway. She perched on my worn couch like a queen on a questionable throne and got straight to it. "That man you saved? His name is David Choi. He's worth approximately $800 million. He's also supposed to be dead." My blood went cold. "Excuse me. I work for the National Intelligence Service." She pulled out credentials that looked real enough. David Choi isn't just rich. His family runs the largest criminal organization in South Korea. Drugs, weapons, human trafficking. We've been trying to take them down for 5 years. She leaned forward. "He was poisoned that night. By me. You saving him destroyed an 18-month operation." I moved toward the door. "Get out. He wants to hire you as his personal bodyguard. 50 million won per month. He thinks you're his guardian angel." Sujin's voice was ice and honey. "And I need you to accept. So I can help you kill him? Absolutely not. So you can help me save him." She stood, meeting my eyes. "David's different from his family. He's been trying to go legitimate for years, but his father and uncle won't let him. They'll kill him before they let him leave. I need someone close to him, someone he trusts, to keep him alive while I gather evidence to take down the whole organization." "Why should I trust you?" "Because your visa expires in 2 weeks. Because you have $3,000 in your bank account. Because the man who killed your fiancée in Lagos is still free, and going back to Nigeria means facing that every day." Her voice softened. "Because 3 years ago, you couldn't save Marcus when he died in your arms. But you can save David. You can actually make a difference this time." My hands shook. Marcus. The clinic. The gang fight that spilled into our emergency room. My scrubs soaked with his blood while I pressed uselessly against the wounds. The reason I'd fled across the world to a job where the worst that could happen was someone swallowing too much chlorine. 3 months, I heard myself say. If I think you're lying, if anything feels wrong, I'm out. Deal. The Choi estate made my entire Lagos neighborhood look like a storage shed. Traditional Korean architecture mixed with security cameras disguised as decorative elements, guards in gardener uniforms, sensors everywhere. I counted at least 20 ways to die before I even reached the main house. David's father, Richard Choi, received me in a room that smelled like power and old money. Silver hair, sharp eyes, the kind of man who'd probably killed people and slept fine afterward. "Miss Oladele, my son speaks highly of you." He didn't offer his hand. "Demonstrate your capabilities." Gino. A man built like a tank stepped forward. Former special forces. I'd bet my life on it. He came at me without warning. Testing, always testing, but I'd learned to fight in Lego streets before I learned to save lives. I used his momentum, swept his legs, had him down in 15 seconds. Richard Choi's expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. "You'll stay in the West Wing. 50 million won per month. If my son dies while under your protection, you die too. Understood. Understood. Good." He's waiting in the garden. I found David by a koi pond, wearing casual clothes that probably cost more than my annual salary. Without the chaos of drowning, I could really see him. Tall, handsome in that effortless way rich people are, but with eyes that looked decades older than his face. "You came," he said, smiling. It didn't reach those sad eyes. "Your father made a compelling argument." He laughed softly. "Fear usually is." He gestured to a bench. "Sit with me. I want to talk before this becomes just another business arrangement." We sat. The koi swam lazy circles, oblivious. "Why me?" I asked. You have an army of security. Why hire a lifeguard? David was quiet for a long time. When I was drowning, I saw my mother's face. She died when I was 16. Wrong place, wrong time, caught in violence meant for my father. He turned to me. You remind me there's a world where people can be human. I'm not as human as you think. I know. I can see your walls. But at least you built yours by choice. Mine came with the family name. He paused at my door. Good night, Yemi. Thank you for being here. As I closed the door, my phone buzzed. Sujin. Garden. Midnight. Emergency. I found her by a stone dragon sculpture, cigarette in hand. You smoke. Only when stressed. She gestured to the bench. We have a problem. Someone's investigating the poisoning. If they trace it back to me, we're done. How long? A week. Maybe less. She took a drag. We need to accelerate everything. Get close to David. Make him trust you completely. Get evidence we can use. You want me to betray him. I want you to save him. She met my eyes. My sister was trafficked through a Choi operation when she was 16. By the time we found her, she'd been in a brothel for 8 months. She killed herself a year later. Her voice cracked. So yes, I'm playing a role. Yes, I'm manipulating people. But I'm doing it to destroy the men who destroy lives. I sat down slowly. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Just do your job. She dropped the cigarette, crushed it under her heel. Get close to David. When the time comes, you'll have to choose between saving one man or stopping an organization that's ruined thousands of lives. I hope you're ready. The next 2 weeks blurred together. Training sessions, family dinners, late-night conversations with David that felt increasingly dangerous. I learned about his secret businesses. Construction companies hiring ex-gang members, restaurants employing trafficking survivors, scholarship funds for poor kids. I've been building an exit strategy for 16 years, he told me one morning after training. Every legitimate business is one less reason to stay in this life. Does Sujin know? Something guarded entered his expression. Something dangerous flashed in her eyes before she schooled her expression. Yemi, you're dismissed. David and I need privacy. I looked at David. He nodded slightly. Good night. As I left, I heard Sujin's voice drop to a hiss. What were you thinking, telling her about the investigation? Do you want to get us both killed? The door closed before I heard David's response. I hurried back to my quarters, mind spinning. Sujin had overheard. She knew that David knew. Everything was about to accelerate. My phone buzzed almost immediately. Sujin. Garden. Now, when I arrived, Sujin wasn't alone. Thomas Choi stood beside her, and the warm uncle persona was gone. In its place, something cold and calculating that made my instincts scream. Miss Oladele, Thomas said pleasantly, though his eyes were hard. Sujin tells me we have a problem. 3 men stepped from the shadows. I was outnumbered and outgunned. Don't be dramatic, Sujin said, though she wouldn't meet my eyes. We're all on the same side. Uncle Thomas has been helping me gather evidence against Richard for months. He wants to take over and make everything legitimate. But David's too idealistic, too reckless. He'll expose everything before we're ready. My stomach dropped. You're not NIS. You never were. I was. Past tense. I went rogue when I realized I could accomplish more from inside. She finally looked at me. The story about my sister was true, but the plan isn't to destroy the Choi family. It's to redirect it. Thomas will replace Richard. I'll marry David and inherit his portion. Together, we'll transform it into something good. By killing David. By making him irrelevant. Thomas stepped forward. The compound he told you about? It's real. But he won't wake up in an ambulance. He'll wake up in a facility where he'll stay until we've consolidated power. Then we release him with enough money to live comfortably far away. He gets freedom. We get control. Everyone wins. Except he doesn't get a choice. Soo-jin pulled out a gun. Not pointing it at me, but making its presence known. You have until morning to decide. Yemi, help us and get your money and permanent residency. Or refuse and become a problem we have to solve. They let me go, confident I couldn't stop them. Back in my quarters, I paced like a caged animal. I needed help. But who could I trust? My phone rang. Unknown number. Yemi Oladele? This is Director Han, National Intelligence Service. We need to talk about Soo-jin Park. My blood went cold. We've been monitoring her for 3 months. She's a rogue agent who went dark 18 months ago. Whatever she's told you is manipulation. His voice was calm, measured. We believe she's planning something catastrophic at the wedding. We need your help to stop it. Why should I trust you? Because I'm going to tell you something only a handful of people know. Soo-jin's sister isn't dead. She's alive and working as Thomas Choi's chief financial officer. The entire tragic backstory was fabricated. He paused. The sisters have been running a long con to take over the Choi empire. When they make their move at the wedding, they're planning to kill both Richard and David, frame it as a rival gang attack, and let Thomas take over with the sisters as silent partners. You're telling me this because? Because we need someone David trusts. Someone who can warn him and help him survive. That's you, Miss Oladele. He sent a file to my phone. Show him this. Help him survive the wedding, and we'll extract you both safely. You have my word. He hung up. I stared at the encrypted file, feeling the weight of impossible choices crushing me. A soft knock made me jump. It's me. David's voice was barely audible. Please, Yemi. I need to talk to you. I opened the door. He looked terrible. Exhausted, frightened, still in yesterday's clothes. Soo-jin is planning to kill me at the wedding, he said without preamble. There was steel in his voice now. Determination. I overheard her talking to my uncle. They're working together. They have been for years. I know. I showed him my phone, the file from Director Han. Read this. All of it. He took the phone with shaking hands and sank onto my couch. I watched his face as he processed each betrayal. Soo-jin's lies, his uncle's conspiracy, the depth of deception. When he looked up, his eyes were wet. 4 years, he whispered. I loved her for 4 years. And it was all a lie. I sat beside him. I'm sorry. The worst part is I'm not even surprised. Some part of me always knew. He laughed bitterly. Pathetic, right? It's human. He turned to me. Do I matter to you, Yemi? As more than an assignment? The question hung between us. I should lie. Should protect myself. Yes, I said quietly. You matter to me. He closed his eyes. A single tear slid down his cheek. I don't deserve your kindness. Stop it. You've spent 16 years trying to be better. That matters. You matter. He opened his eyes, looked at me with raw vulnerability. Then he was leaning forward. I was meeting him halfway, and we were kissing with a desperate intensity of two people who might not survive the week. When we pulled apart, he rested his forehead against mine. I'm scared. Not of dying. Of finally having something real and losing it. Then let's make sure we both survive. We spent the next 3 hours planning. I laid out everything. Soo-jin's alliance with Thomas, the embezzled money, the assassination plan, Director Han's offer. David contributed his knowledge of security systems, his father's routines, the venue layout. There's one problem, David said as dawn broke. My father. If we take down Thomas and Soo-jin without dealing with him, we're just trading one monster for another. Director Han has evidence against your uncle. Surely they have evidence against your father too. They probably do. But it won't stick. Not enough for a real conviction. He walked to the window, watching the sunrise. There's another way, but you won't like it. Try me. I tell my father everything. About Thomas and Soo-jin's plan. He'll see the betrayal for what it is and help us stop them. Then, once Thomas is dealt with, I testify against my father. He goes to prison, but at least he's alive. You'd betray your own father? David turned to face me. My father's choices killed my mother. I've spent 16 years trying to honor her memory by being different. Maybe the final step is making sure he faces consequences. Okay, I said. Let's do it together. No more secrets. Deal. He crossed the room, took my hands. Thank you, Yemi. For everything. For saving my life and for saving it again in ways that matter more. We're not safe yet. He smiled, and for the first time since I'd met him, it reached his eyes. Where should we go after this is over? Jeju Island. The real island, not the resort where I worked.
Biche, village, volcanic cave.
Then that's where we'll go. And we'll pretend to be normal people for a while. I'd like that. The next 5 days were a blur. David had his brutal conversation with Richard. Afterward, security around Thomas intensified. Sujin noticed but couldn't pinpoint why. She cornered me twice, and both times I played my role perfectly. The mercenary bodyguard choosing money over morality. The night before the wedding, David texted, "Can't sleep. Meet me in the garden." I found him by the koi pond where we'd first really talked. "Tomorrow could be the last day of my old life," he said. "I wanted to spend part of it with you." We sat in silence, watching the koi move through dark water. "If this goes wrong," David said quietly, "I need you to know these past 2 weeks have been the happiest I've been since my mother died. You gave me hope. Thank you. Nothing's going to go wrong. We've planned for everything." He took my hand. "I'm glad the universe sent you to save me, Yemi Oladele. You're exactly the kind of angel I needed." The wedding day arrived with perfect weather, as if mocking the tragedy about to unfold. I dressed carefully, checking my concealed weapons 3 times. Director Han's team was in position as catering staff. Richard's security had Thomas surrounded without him knowing. Everything was set. 500 guests. I took my position near the altar, close enough to intervene, far enough to blend in. Sujin walked down the aisle in her designer gown, the picture of bridal perfection. If I didn't know the truth, I'd believe she was happy. David stood at the altar, calm and composed. Our eyes met. He gave the slightest nod. The ceremony progressed. Vows were about to be exchanged when David raised his hand. "I'm sorry. I can't do this." The crowd gasped. Sujin's mask slipped, revealing fury beneath. "I know everything, Sujin. About you and my uncle. About the money. About the plan to kill me and my father. It's over." Chaos erupted. Thomas's security moved toward David, but Richard's men were faster. Director Han and his team revealed themselves, weapons drawn. Sujin tried to run. I was already moving, catching her before she made it 3 steps. Gunshots rang out. Someone screamed. Pain exploded in my shoulder, but I held Sujin until agents could take over. I looked around frantically for David. He was on the ground, Richard standing over him protectively, weapon drawn. For one terrible moment, I thought we'd failed. Then David sat up, winded but alive, and looked at me with relief and love. I stood on a Jeju Island beach teaching swimming lessons to children from Seoul. David's art gallery was opening next week, featuring young Korean artists who'd never had a chance to showcase their work. We lived in a small house with an ocean view. For the first time in years, neither of us was running from anything. David appeared behind me as the lesson ended, wrapping his arms around my waist. "How was class?" "Good. That one girl, Minji, she's going to be a competitive swimmer." "I believe you. You have a gift for seeing potential in people." I leaned back against him, feeling safe and content. "So do you. You saw potential in yourself when everyone else just saw a legacy." "We saved each other," David said. "That's what matters." As the sun set over the water, painting the sky orange and pink, I thought about the day I jumped into that infinity pool to save a drowning stranger. I'd thought I was saving a life. I hadn't realized I was saving my own. "I love you," I said. I love you too, David replied. Thank you for jumping in. For saving me in every way that matters. We stood together on the beach, two people who'd been drowning in different ways, who'd found each other and decided to swim towards shore together. Sometimes the person you save ends up saving you right back. If you enjoyed this story, hit subscribe and drop a comment about what you'd like to see next.